Alright, good people. As you can see by the title of the video, this is going to be my official picks, predictions, preview for what will, without a shadow of a doubt, is the biggest show of the year for AEW. This is their WrestleMania, no doubt about it. AEW All In Texas. This is the big AEW show that AEW has been building up for days, for weeks, for months. Obviously, you could tell by this card, AEW is going all in, no pun intended, to make this show a legendary show. Who's to say that coming out of this show, this might be a top 5 AEW show of all time? But I don't want to make this too long of a video. I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. I think one match that I had forgot to put in picture wise was the AEW Tag Team Title match, the Hurt Syndicate. I think it's Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. I may be wrong. Either way, I think the Hurt Syndicate are retaining their titles. Nothing really more I can really say about that. I don't see the Hurt Syndicate losing the AEW World Tag Team titles anytime soon. We got the men's casino gauntlet match where the winner will obviously challenge for the AEW World Championship. Obviously, the women's is the same way. So far, MJF is in it. Mark Briscoe is in it. Those are the main ones. This could go either way. Honestly, it's really hard to kind of predict who could very well win these matches. But if I had to pick a particular winner, just out of the blue, I will say MJF. I think MJF could very well win this match. And, he could very well go on to challenge for the AEW World Championship. Now, obviously, MJF right now is kind of feuding with Mark Briscoe, so who's to say there's an upset? Mark Briscoe, eliminates MJF in this match or whatever. One person who could very well make his return in this match is, you know, Darby Allin. Obviously Darby Allin has been climbing Mount Everest these past couple months, and we haven't been seeing from him. We haven't heard from him. Who's to say he doesn't make his return in this match and win this match? But honestly, truth be told, this could go either way. But right now, I got MJF winning right now. Obviously, I think my pick might be wrong, but ultimately, we'll see. As far as the women's casino gauntlet match, again, kind of hard to pick. But if I had to pick one specifically, I'm going to go with Willow Nightingale. I think I could see Willow Nightingale getting the win. I think Willow Nightingale, challenging for the AEW Women's World Championship wouldn't be a bad idea. And, I wouldn't mind seeing Willow Nightingale win this casino gauntlet match. I don't really know who would be as far as surprises in this match. Same with the men. I really don't know. Maybe debuts. I have no clue. Ultimately, we'll have to see, who wins, these matches, and then, we'll go from there. But now we're going to get to some of the big matches here, obviously. You got the Young Bucks, Swerve, Will Ospreay tag match. And the caveat of this tag match, obviously, is if the Young Bucks lose this match, they have to give up their EVP titles. But if Swerve and Will Ospreay lose, then for over a year, they cannot challenge for the AEW World Championship at all. And I've been seeing people kind of bring up the fact that Ospreay and Swerve might lose this match. I've been seeing people bring up reasons how Swerve and Ospreay could lose this match. Now, I'm not just going to sit up here and just specifically say that Swerve and Ospreay is going to lose this match. Honestly, it could go either way. But I think for the hell of it, I am going to go with the Young Bucks winning this one because, truth be told, Young Bucks losing their EVP titles, I mean, it ain't really that much of as an importance than they kind of make it out to be. Yeah, I could honestly see Swerve and Ospreay kind of having to scratch and claw even more, especially Ospreay having to scratch and claw even more, for over a year. And then obviously they can still feud with other people. There's still other things they could do. And I honestly think Swerve and Ospreay losing will have somewhat of an effect on the main event, which obviously I'll get into more, but it's going to be a good tag match. Okada, Omega on American soil. I'm specifically mentioning that obviously because, this is arguably one of the biggest rivalries like ever for both Omega, for both Okada. Their history in New Japan really needs no backstory, especially if you followed these two guys from New Japan, which I'm sure a lot of people that watch AEW already know. So really no point of really getting into it. But we've been talking about this for months, this match taking place at All In, ever since they had the little interaction back at World's End. You already knew right away that this was going to be the match for All In. And this is winner takes all for the International Championship, for the Continental Championship. I ain't going to hold you. I do think Kenny Omega will win this match. Something tells me I just have that feeling Kenny is going to unify both the belts. But regardless, this is going to be one of the best matches. This could be one of the best matches, I should say, for the show. And again, Kenny and Okada had some of the biggest, some will even say some of the greatest professional wrestling matches in history in New Japan. But that was 2017, 2018. We're not in that time period. But who's to say Kenny can't turn back the clock? Who can't say Okada can't turn back the clock? So it's going to be a really good match. Looking forward to it. And ultimately, wrestling fans, AEW fans, we win at the end of the day. So now you have what will be arguably the biggest women's match in AEW up to this point. Probably the biggest women's match non-WWE wise, which is ironic because these two women just so happened at one point to work for the WWE, and now look where they are. Mercedes Moné, the TBS champion, Timeless Toni Storm, the AEW Women's World Champion. And, similar to these matches, man, it could go either way, honestly. You can make the obvious reasons, valid reasons as to why Tony should win this match, and you can make the obvious reasons as to why Mercedes Moné could win this match. Mercedes Moné, is like Omega in 2021. She's the goddamn belt collector. Truth be told, at the end of the day, there can only be one, and something just tells me, I don't know what it is, man, but just something just tells me somehow, some way, Mercedes Moné will win the AEW Women's World Championship. Just something tells me that that her winning that belt will complete this belt collector thing she's been on. And Mercedes Moné has been on the rise. She has been, just God mode, But Toni Storm is doing the best work of her career. And truth be told, I don't really think she needs the AEW World title. As of right now, like, her losing at All In won't stop her momentum. Like, you have her and Mina together, you can still keep them together doing good shit. So I ain't going to come out here and say that Tony losing is going to affect her in any way, shape, or form. So in somewhat way, Mercedes kind of needs the W more than Tony, low-key. But again, not dwell too long on the topic. Again, this could go either way, truth be told. This should be one of the best matches of the night. Probably one of the best women matches of the year. Looking forward to it. Looking to see how it goes down. And you know what, man? AEW been around for about 6 years now. 5 years. And truth be told, and I know I've said that a lot in this video, but I think a lot of people would agree with me when I say this, that this is probably the biggest AEW match so far up to this point. There is so much importance, there is so much stake that is going into this match that you wouldn't even believe. I'm not going to go into this full-length monologue. I'm not. I'm just going to tell it straight up. I do think, despite everything that's been going on, despite what the original plans were, again with Darby Allin winning, because I think we all assumed that Darby Allin was the end game at first, Hangman Page got to win. I don't think in this situation there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I think Hangman Page needs to go over. I think Hangman Page and John Moxley, which again, this is a Texas death match, by the way. I do think that this Hangman needs to win, and he needs to walk out of Texas the AEW World Champion. I feel like with everything that's been going on, and you have John Moxley win, like you end your biggest show of the year with John Moxley winning after this crazy ass drought that the Death Riders have put AEW through, that this reign has put a lot of the fans through. It's just to the point where it's just like done, checked out. So I saw other people kind of bring up the fact that this match can kind of be a somewhat of a little bit of a duplicate of how Cody and Roman did their match back at WrestleMania 40. I can definitely see that happening. The Death Riders are definitely going to want to try to do everything they can to make sure Hangman does not walk out. Swerve, yeah, Swerve, even though him and Hangman don't like each other. Ospreay, the Ops, Mark Briscoe, damn near the entire AEW roster, Nightingale, Statlander, the entire damn near AEW roster is going to make sure that Hangman wins this match. And again, Darby can easily get his revenge on John Moxley without winning the AEW World Championship. And that's another thing. Darby could even come in this match and make his return in this match specifically and help Hangman Page win the AEW World Championship. Because I just feel like if John Moxley wins, it just officially flushes down toilet, I think, for AEW. And I want to say AEW is having a lot of momentum right now. So you don't want to halt or stop that momentum with a John Moxley retaining a championship. Like, that's all I can really say there. Anywho, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Who y'all think gonna win? Who y'all think gonna lose? What's gonna happen at AEW All In Texas? And that wraps it up. You already know what this is, man. Kid DC Wrestling.